Hi, I'm Nesta Shingler. I study engineering design at Staffordshire University, and maybe, like me, you're a technical student. Maybe you study industrial design, for example, or could be computer science, maybe cybersecurity or something. And basically, as a technical student, when you go out into the big, wide world and your employer's looking for something from you, that's experience. And now, how can I get experience if my employer wants experience and I don't have any? Sure, I might have a nice, diverse portfolio of work, but the employer usually wants to see how practical or pragmatic you are when you have got a deadline in front of you and you are submitting work to a client, for example. And so this can be a problem. It can be a big problem because, you know, how do I get the experience when they want experience in order for me to get experience? It's that whole catch 22. And this is where SAMPID comes in. SAMPID stands for Staffordshire Advanced Manufacturing Prototyping Innovations Demonstrator. That's a lot of syllables, so I'll break it down. It's an initiative funded by the EU which supports people like me and you, students, in order to get us into work and ease us into a career without having all of the risk and having to essentially use different equipment that possibly we're not instructed for yet and maybe we need training on, for example. So I ran a project which was 12 weeks long, and I was employed as a prototyping and innovations consultant. And so without the syllables, what this means is a client came to us and asked for us to produce a prototype, which is something completely new in the market. And so my main goal was to prove concept. They had an idea for a technology. They didn't know how to develop it. They didn't have the resources or equipment to develop it. And so they needed us. And what we did was fulfill the brief. This was an awesome opportunity for someone like me, just because I don't have much of a diverse portfolio, to be quite honest. I've done work and that work's been good, but it doesn't always practically apply to an industry, and where it does, maybe it's not really technical enough to prove all of my skills. This was so beneficial to someone like me just because it gave me a structured way and all the support I needed in order to fulfill that brief. And so actually it meant that I was having weekly meetings with my client and with my academic who was supporting. It meant that I was managing my own project and I was the lead. And this also meant that I had to be organized, I had to be methodical and logical and do things in a chronological order as to where the next task couldn't be completed or started, and most times because the last thing gave me the knowledge and the foundations to make the next steps. And so the pressures which come from this forced me to develop new skills using the knowledge I'd gained from university. And now, when I go to an actual employer in the real world environment, I do have a mixed skill set which I can completely show each aspect of my learning, my development, and where I can practically apply things. And so it went beyond what I thought it would. I thought it would be mainly design and fabrication, and actually I gained a lot of, as I say, organizational and pragmatic type of skills. Although my portfolio is diverse, it's not always very geared towards all of the different things I could do. I might do small projects which show different skills, but I've not done any big projects which show that I can tie each individual skill together in order to actually fulfill certain operations that industry might demand of me. And so now I've got that knowledge, when I go to apply for a job in industry, I will actually be able to communicate to them why I know what I know and how I develop the knowledge and where the knowledge will apply to the new role which I'm applying for. If you're like me and you need that hands-on experience, I would definitely suggest applying for one of the SAMPID roles, just because It gives you the comforts that you're used to at university with the new stress of what it means to be employed and have to answer to a client. My skill set, which I thought I'd be using, actually got developed on and turned into something which can be applied to the real world. So, go and get yourself the knowledge that you need. Apply now for one of these roles. There's different ones available. And yeah, ultimately, avoid turning up to another interview where you don't actually feel like you are capable of fulfilling the role, but you're going for it anyway. And yeah, get yourself to a position where you're confident and you're secure with the knowledge that you have, and you know and have applied it to the real world. Best of luck and enjoy the rest of your day.